Hello and welcome to WoW's Operation Replays. This is your host, Lord Holland, and today I am bringing you a special Operation Aegis. Now, for those of you that don't know, there have been bugs in Wargaming's programming that caused ops to go a little haywire about a few months ago that I started noticing. And that's why I wanted to really start this channel, was to draw awareness and create guides for this, for these glitch stops, and to help ensure that, players could cope with operations that glitched. But when I was originally going to do maps to kind of illustrate how to do that, but when I was talking to a Wargaming employee, they told me that the guides weren't needed, that the programming just had to be, reworked to provide the correct experience. Now, I'm not going to say who told me this, for privacy reasons, of course, and just for integrity. I'm not bad-mouthing anyone. I'm just saying that this is what happened. But after I had this op, I thought this op had been fixed because I hadn't encountered it for a while. I know Newport had a glitch, but it hasn't appeared for a long time, so I thought they fixed it. But when I saw this op, I was like, no, it's still here. And you can tell a glitched Aegis immediately, because the shores and the Fletcher will hit that rock at H5, and they will just stay there. That's how you immediately tell a glitch stop. Is you can tell literally right within the first minute and a half. But I honestly, after I had, received that, response, I honestly didn't want to continue making, or honestly thought about giving up on this idea. That it was just a failure, that it wouldn't succeed. But the most important person in my life, looked at me and was like, it's their job to say and respond in those kind of ways, but she honestly very much supported me and was like, who gives a, hell what they say? Do what you want to do. And she basically, walked me through and made me want to continue doing it. I gave up. I didn't do the glitch shots. I did other things I did like replay analysis and commentary. And that's how this channel has grown. And I am glad to have this channel and be an advocate for the PvE community and to represent operations. And I don't ask for anything in return. I do this because I enjoy it. I mean, if Wargaming made me a privateer for being an advocate and representing this kind of community and producing the content, then great. But I don't know if that'll happen, because according to their site, the NA representatives pick the privateers personally, so it's not like you can apply. So I'll just continue doing this for fun and continue being the WoW's Operation Replays advocate and being here for the PvE community, because I enjoy doing this. Now, I'll tell you how to overcome a glitch stop. As you can see, the first wave was kind of, they spawned over and they spawned on like the D line and then went down the 7 line. And you see these cruisers at the D line, they kind of spawn much farther north than they do, and then they swing south down the 7 line. Now there's about 3 ships like the Miyoko back there, and about 2 more ships behind it on that C5 that are stuck there. Ignore those ships. Now, the best advice I could give to people to overcome this operation, you see where my buddy Devil is, and where the Baltimore and the Benson are? If you can get fast, hard-hitting cruisers across, you know, the G line and into those islands on the 8 and 9 line, and get them up to around E9, E8, and get those broadside shots, that makes this op a lot easier. And that's great. But as far as carriers go, I can't give you any advice on those ones. The only carrier that's capable of dealing with this kind of op that's been glitched is Kaga. Because Kaga has such high plane reserves. It can throw these planes into this AA that's been glitched, and these bots that are glitched, and still continue to keep fighting. If you're in a tier 6, you might as well go back to port. If let's say Newport was one of the ops that glitched, Enterprise can deal with a glitch stop. The most powerful carriers in the game are Enterprise and Kaga at tier 8. Those are the only carriers that can deal with a glitched op. Let's say, you know, tier 10 ops were a thing. I would honestly say FDR and Nakamov could be the other ones, and maybe Malta. But those would be the only carriers that could possibly deal with a glitch stop because they are so strong. But as far as tier 8 ops go, Kaga and Enterprise. Kaga's really the only one that will deal with this. And I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but there's nothing else you can do until Wargaming fixes the programming. But you see how they just kind of go down that 7, 8 line? And those cruisers up at C5 and, you know, C4 are just kind of stuck there. Don't worry about those guys. Get your cruisers and battleships and everything you've got. Keep the destroyers where the Benson is. Keep laying down those torp screens. If you got European destroyers, Japanese Yuhagi, Shiriatsu, Akatsuki, smoke up, farm, farm, farm. Get those crossfires going. And then get those warships up into those islands up there. That's your only shot to basically complete these first 2 waves and do it at minimal losses. Like, we really struggle. Like, you can see that, you know, our Prince Oregon's gone, our Helena's gone, real good DPM, hard-hitting cruisers are gone. And I just could not make my strikes go. It wasn't until, like, once I was able to get some of these AA ships down that I was able to actually do stuff. But my friend Devil goes down because there's not much he can do. And I'm in a very bad spot. I got like 2 cruisers in front of me. Now, he is obviously frustrated, and it's honestly fair. Glitch stops can be very frustrating. Now, the Leander does pick up the Yoko, and so there's just that 1 cruiser left. But once that cruiser is gone, then a whole other hell in a handbasket starts. It's literally 3 hell in a handbaskets right on top of each other. There is no room to breathe. That's what makes a glitch stop so hard. And if someone has, you know, a glitched Newport op, please send that to me, and I will create a commentary for that. If there's any glitched ops that show up, send those replays to me immediately. I will make commentaries on how to overcome those ops immediately. I will have those out within a day. It only takes me a few hours to make these replays and get these guys up. So I can pump out the content and pump it out real fast. I can get it in a timely manner. But if you see any glitched ops, viewers or anyone on the forums, send those to me immediately. Get those replays, send them to my email, or send them to me directly on the forums. I always check my email. I always check the forums daily. I'm always very active. If I have a post up that I've created, I always respond to people. Because this channel and this passion of mine is for the community. I want to be there to help Operation players. If you have suggestions at what you want or what you would like to see, tell me. I'm producing my own stuff, but I'm willing to make content for you people. I'm not like other contributors or anything that just kind of blow the horn. I want to create content that people love and really bring this game back to what it used to be, to make it a fun game again. But you've got to work with me. Now, as you all know, there's battleships that do spawn at like A4 and 5 and A8. Don't worry about the battleships on a glitch stop. Forget about the battleships. The worst trouble is going to come down that 10 line. That 10 line is your worst enemy. That's why you got to get those cruisers at full health up into those rocks as quickly as possible. Then their only job is to go straight for the evac zone and use those islands for cover. Because you're going to see what comes down that 10 line, and it is not pretty. I struggle to get my attacks off, but any other carrier couldn't do it. Maybe a Chocolove with a very good captain could do it, but it would take heavy losses. Like right here, we see a Mogami, a Takachi, and a Kitakaze. Kitakaze has ridiculous, horrible AA. Not many carriers can stand that AA, but a Kaga has that ability to last. And I'm out of fighters, I'm out of heals. I've just got to make my attacks count. I get 2 torps, and you'll see just how much a good carrier player makes in an operation. In this last part, it's scary. I've fought probably 15 glitched Aegis ops, and I think I've won about at least 2/3 of them, with like maybe a third being losses. But I usually can overcome ops, like glitched ops like this. That's why this guide is being put up so fast. And I usually don't make 3 videos in a day, or publish 3 videos, but I feel like this is one that needs to be published. Kind of like the Raptor rescue video was published in a few hours. And done so quickly. Now that one actually got really good reviews. It got great views on my page. It was received fairly well on the forums. And within a couple of hours, the Raptor Rescue Wiki page that had been, not highly detailed, had some of its content on it changed. And those were based on my video. I made a difference. But because I went through the right, channels and actually did it the right way. But I'm glad to see that the wiki page got changed. And I like to see, and I saw how fast it was. It was great to see it get changed. And I constantly look at my, I honestly don't know where I was going with that, but And I do pick up the Dakachi, so that just leaves the Mogami there. Leander goes down, so that just leaves Vincent and the Baltimore left. But I'm glad I'm making change, and good change. I realize now that I'm glad I'm doing this channel, and it makes me feel happy. At the time of this video, I've spent about 12 hours on a computer, sitting in one spot. And that's not including editing and uploading it to YouTube. So, it's been a long day. But I wanted to make this video real quickly, since it's just a replay analysis. I hope that with this video, anyone that has glitched Aegis can hopefully overcome it. It was only a 3-star op, but for a glitched op, that's still pretty damn good, and we barely got 4 stars. So that's still pretty damn close for a good op run.